Arsenal are cheats. That's the narrative that was pushed just over a week ago by Chelsea midfield legend John Obi Mikel. And lots of Chelsea fans, Tottenham fans, lots of Man United fans as well, embarrassingly, joined in with this absolute tripe, this nonsense, just the same as fans all season. Set pieces aren't real goals. And we'll get into why that's biting people on the backside already, just as I told you all it would. But John Obi Mikel, Arsenal are cheats, Arsenal are cheats, Arsenal are cheats. I won't recognize them as real champions. Well, before we go any further, like the video, please. Get this shared across your social media platforms. Let's remind ourselves of exactly what he said last week.
Arsenal play right now, they depend solely on corner kicks. You have spent almost $1 billion. Mikel Arteta, almost $1 billion.
When they banged in 2 brilliant open play goals yesterday.
And you're telling me the only way you can win games is through corner kicks? It's ridiculous.
But does it matter how you win, John?
It does matter. It does matter.
Why?
They're winning ugly.
You'd love to be in their position at the moment.
I would love to. The only reason...
Remember what he says. He said that how you win matters.
The only reason why the Arsenal fans are not complaining with the style of football that they're playing is because they're top of the league.
Yeah.
If they're not top of the league, they will complain that they're not enjoying the type of football that they're playing. You look at the corner kicks, the holding players.
Do you think the players enjoy it? Do you think
Illegally.
the attacking players enjoy this style of play?
Exactly. The creativity that they have, the potentials that they have, it's all gone out of the window. We don't
Well, let's see if any of these attacking players are asking to leave in the summer.
see them anymore.
The main guys starting.
The likes of Saka, the likes of Martinelli, the likes of Eze, Odegaard. We don't see that anymore because they depend solely on corner kicks.
If they win it, will you recognise Arsenal as Premier League champions?
Not if they're going and winning the way they're playing right now. No, I wouldn't. Because for me, it's a cheat. They've cheated their way to winning the Premier League.
Let's remember that. They shouldn't. This is John Obi Mikel, Chelsea legend, Premier League winning John Obi Mikel. 2 Premier Leagues. Was it 3, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a Champions League, and a Europa League. All won by him at Chelsea. He won't recognise Arsenal because they grapple with opponents on corners, because they will sometimes go down easy on challenges like everybody else. I cannot wait. I don't know about you, but I personally cannot wait to see his reaction, to watch his podcast when he reacts to the confirmation that between 2011, between 2011 and 2018, Chelsea were legitimately cheating to win trophies. £47 million paid to 12 individuals or corporations illicitly. They were involved in the deals to sign Hazards and Matiches, Williams, Luis, Ramirez. Confirmation that Chelsea, and journalist here Jason Burt says, this just stinks and does not reflect well on the Premier League. Chelsea cheated. Their Abramovich titles are tainted. I cannot wait to hear what John Obi Mikel has got to say. And my stance is very clear. Until we get a bit more detail, I need to understand why the Premier League is saying there was no sporting advantage. Until I hear and get that explanation, I want to understand it in a bit more detail. But of course it taints it. Of course it taints it. If you have been able to sign that volume of highly talented players by cheating, and it's been proven you cheated, it taints them. I wonder if John Obi Mikel is going to have the same energy that he has for Arsenal, pulling and shoving on corners. This is why, and you know what? On a level, I've said already, I feel for Chelsea fans. I feel that when ownerships do things wrong, whether it's cheating, whether it's corruption, whether it's making staff redundant, it's always hard for football fans because we love our football clubs. We want to support the team on the football pitch. We want our teams to win. But when you have bad owners, it's horrible. And the United fan have experienced this. We've been run poorly. Newcastle fans understand this. Liverpool fans get it. We all get it. We all get it to different degrees, but we all have an understanding of this. But when you push stupid agendas, this is what happens. John Obi Mikel, very talented footballer, won a lot of trophies. I've got respect for him in that way. You know, got a lot of respect for him in that regard. But I believe what he said was performative. The problem is when you push narratives that you don't truly believe just to stick it to another football team, you have to now show integrity. And if you don't recognize Arsenal as real champions because you perceive they're pulling and shoving at corners to be cheating, you are going to have to start discrediting many of your own trophies. All your trophies won between 2011 and 2018 at Chelsea, you cannot recognize as real trophies because it has now been proven that Chelsea cheated in that period to help build your squad. And this is what happens when you've played a very silly game and it's biting you on the backside. And I mentioned set pieces earlier because I've had 2 Man United fans message me privately in the last couple of days. Gone, Terry, you were right. I said, oh, why? About what? About what? I hate to admit it, brother, but you were correct. All right. Go on. Spill the beans. What was I right about? I'm intrigued now. Well, all year, you've been telling me, whether we were on streams together or whether we were just talking privately, to stop discrediting Arsenal set pieces because at some point it would be used against Man United. Not directly because of him, but in general. And he went, I just thought that was you protecting Arsenal, glazing Arsenal. I said, right. So what you here to tell me, what was I right about? Mate, I'm seeing it. I'm listening to TalkSport. I'm listening to the debates around Player of the Year. And every pushback against Bruno winning it is because only 7 of his assists so far have been from open play. And lots of them have been from set pieces. And what people are doing when I'm debating it, what I'm seeing happening in the mainstream, which will filter into, remember, it's a voting system. People will vote for who they want to win it. And what is now being used against Bruno that might sway people's minds. Now, I don't care about personal awards, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But what may sway people's minds is, oh, do you know what? We have all said all season that set piece goals don't matter, are not as good, are not as valuable, don't count as much as open play goals. And look how many set pieces his assists count for. Maybe as a Wolves fan now, I won't vote for it because we've indoctrinated people into believing that set piece goals are dirty and bad for football. He's like, mate, I so regret doing it now. I said, but I told you this. And you don't know. Well, you do know, right? It's one of these things in life. And I heard Ricky Gervais say this once. If you support cancel culture in the sense of a joke that was acceptable 15 years ago, if somebody tweeted it 15 years ago and you now read it as unacceptable and you now want to ruin their life because of it, he said that if you advocate for that behavior, what you're really advocating for is that at some point in 15 years' time, you might lose everything for something that's totally acceptable to say today. And that's what we're doing in this regard. It's the same principle. We're setting these pushing these false narratives and setting these ridiculous standards purely to crap on a rival. But we're not thinking about it long term and how that may then be used to hurt one of our own players or our own legacy or our own club in a debate. But once you've set the precedent, it's hard to undo it. You're standing on that slippery slope. And there is always room for banter. The problem is when banter starts being turned into serious talking points, into serious debates, it's ridiculous. Whether you're good at crossing the ball from a corner, from a free kick, or in open play is absolutely irrelevant. It's a brilliant cross. It creates a goal, and they all count in the same way. Some passes, some crosses are better than others, absolutely. But my word, do we, in the social media world now, are we hurting our own clubs? By the way, I've called Arsenal fans out for it this year. All the gooners that pushed the narrative that the Premier League was the lowest standard ever last year and Liverpool league title was tarnished because of it. That's all that's being used back against them this year, tenfold. Play silly games, you get stupid prizes. And I think we as football fans have to do a better job in that regard. But I cannot wait to hear from John Obi Mikel. Says that Arsenal are cheats, can't recognise them as champions. It's now been proven, and there's still an FA investigation going on, that his Chelsea team, for 7 years that he was part of, I think he was there for 6 of those 7 years, cheated. You could honestly, you couldn't make this up. Like, share, and subscribe, please, people. And we're going to see you all again very, very soon. Peace.